Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Street Entrepreneurship. I'm your host Arf Punt, and I'm here with Dave Land. He is a musician here at the farmers market today. So nice to meet you, Dave.
Nice to meet you as well.
And what exactly do you do here?
You know what? I perform
hmm
playing guitar, solo guitar, and
hmm
vocals,
All right,
and just play all afternoon, just playing songs
all
one
right,
after the other.
all right. That's great. And why do you like what you do? I guess I think it's a pretty good question for musicians.
Sure, absolutely. And this is my full-time job.
hmm
A lot of guys that I know play it. They play at all the venues, but they just
Yeah,
do it kind of as a
as a
sideline.
part time. Yeah.
This is my full-time
hmm
thing.
Yeah.
I'm a full-time professional
hmm
recording and performing artist.
hmm
Signed on an indie label, and
Wow. Okay.
recording, doing performances all the time by myself with the band.
hmm
So it's a regular thing that I do, and
Yeah.
it's become it was a passion. Always, I was always passionate about it since I was a kid.
hmm
Uh, I think I started playing seriously when I was about 13.
Yeah. Okay.
And then after I got, out of high school, I started playing with different bands and stuff,
hmm
and it just became something I was just really driven to.
Yeah.
And I opened a music store in 2001,
hmm
and eventually I got out of the retail business, but I thought, you know what, I could play music full time
Yeah.
and actually make a living at it.
hmm
And I really enjoy it. And it's not always easy.
hmm
And I'm not getting rich all the time. Sometimes you
Yeah.
make a lot more than other times,
Yeah.
but I just love it.
Yeah.
And I can't see myself doing anything else.
All right, that's great. And I guess from your various, entrepreneurship experience
Hmm.
of being in retail and just
Sure.
playing music yourself, uh, for mainly kids or teenagers who want to start their own business, right?
Yeah.
Who are looking to get into the business field, but really don't have a direction or understanding of what to do. What's the best piece of advice you can give them,
I would
maybe from what
say,
you've learned?
if you can, and you hear this adage all the time, but if you do something you love, you'll never
Yeah.
work a day in your life.
hmm
It's not necessarily 100% true, but
Yeah.
it is to a degree. If you
hmm
find something that you really enjoy
Yeah.
and you can make a living doing that,
Yeah.
whether it's working for somebody else or working for yourself, if you
hmm
start your own business, as you're
Yeah.
talking about being an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
uh, I think that one of the best pieces of advice that I could give you, and this is something I came up with at one point,
hmm
because people always talk about taking the road less traveled.
Yeah.
So you know what? Take the road never traveled.
Okay.
You know what? People only say something's impossible because it's never been done.
Yeah.
And I opened a music store a few miles away from Guitar Center, a guitar
So.
shop, and
Yeah.
people told me I was crazy. And that
Yeah.
store was booming success.
Yeah. That's great.
I used those
hmm
guys as sort of like my blueprint for what I did. I
hmm
set my prices based on theirs. I did
There's
things they didn't do, like lessons and repairs and
to
stuff. So
specialized stuff.
people were
Yeah.
coming to me. They'd go there
hmm
and be disappointed and come see me because I could do the stuff that
That they
the
couldn't
big
provide.
store didn't do. So it's
Yeah.
not always about you got to follow. This is the way it is.
hmm
I disagree. I think if you've got something and you've got an idea
Yeah.
and you want to give it a shot, I would do it. I'd say go for it and passionately.
hmm
Also, don't be afraid to ask questions
Yeah.
because
Okay.
people are willing to answer questions and
hmm
expect the good answers and the bad. Because if somebody is willing to tell you, I did this, I tried it, it didn't work,
hmm
listen to that.
Yeah.
Because
Definitely.
if you repeat the same thing that they did and end up with the same result, they did a feasibility study for you and
hmm
you basically threw it back in their face. So if
Yeah.
somebody's going to say, I did this and it worked really well, or I did this and it didn't work,
hmm
that's maybe a good indicator that maybe that's something I shouldn't try.
Yeah.
Maybe tweak it a little bit or just try a different approach
hmm
altogether. But people are willing to talk. If you go up
Yeah.
and ask them questions about whatever it happens to be.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people want to share stuff,
hmm
with somebody who's really interested.
Yeah.
And depending on what the industry is, I know in the music industry, it's very much of a like a pecking order.
hmm
And if you go up and ask a guitar player, for example,
Yeah.
advice about playing the guitar,
hmm
you're automatically telling him in no uncertain terms that he's better than you,
Yeah.
and that's fuel for a guitar
That's
player. As
yeah.
guitar players are
Exactly.
all so competitive.
hmm
So ask him about. So what, I noticed you were doing this. Show me.
hmm
Can you show me what that was, or can you tell me about it? Right away, he's going to talk to you
Yeah.
because you're basically saying, yeah, you're a better guitar player than I am,
hmm
and that's all he wants to hear.
So they love getting asked questions because they know the answer. They think they're better, basically.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
and that's not a bad thing
Yeah.
because if you're going to be able to teach something, you've got to know more than the student, right? So when
Exactly. Yeah.
somebody comes and asks you something, they're basically saying, I want to be your student right now in
Yeah.
this moment. I want you to tell me something that I'm really curious about,
Mhm.
and they're going to be more often than not, they're going to be really willing to talk to you.
Talk to you. Okay.
So don't be afraid to ask questions. The
Yeah.
worst they can do is tell you nothing.
No. Yeah.
They're not going to and
Mhm.
for my business, they're not going to come
Yeah.
over, take your guitar, and cut the strings off or anything.
Yeah.
It's going to say, "Get away from me, kid," or whatever,
Yeah.
And and that's not a big deal. You know,
Mhm.
to move on to the next one.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to ask questions. I get that all the time. People say, "Well, this is probably a dumb question."
Mhm.
No such thing.
Yeah.
If you have a question, you need an answer. It's not a dumb question.
Yeah.
It can't be a dumb question,
Mhm.
right? Unless you've asked it before, or, you know,
Yeah.
and you already knew the answer. You're
Yeah.
just testing them, right? But
Yeah.
no, if there's something you're curious about, ask,
Okay.
and find people that are doing what you're interested in.
Mhm.
Ask them how they got started. Ask them what they if they would recommend it, because sometimes people say, "Yeah, I did this. It's really hard work. It doesn't pay off. I really wouldn't recommend it." That happens too.
Yeah.
So just be open-minded, ask people questions, and be willing to hear what you're going to hear. You
Mhm.
know, don't be afraid of the answer. That's the
Yeah.
right. So
Mhm.
that would be, I'd say, that would be my best advice to
Just
somebody
keep
that
on
wants to
ask.
get.
Yeah. Just ask.
Be a sponge.
Yeah.
Be a sponge.
That's
Soak in
definitely great.
everything you can from
Yeah.
people that are willing to give you information. Take it
Mhm.
all in,
Okay.
and then you sort through it later. You know, it's the
Mhm.
good with the bad.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for
You're
your
very
advice and your
welcome.
time.
Thank
All
you.
right.